Hi, my name is Lillie, and I have found there are two main things that I focus on when it comes to weight loss. In this video, I'm going to thoroughly explain how I lost 15 pounds, but this is also the same approach that I help clients with one-on-one on their weight loss journey as well. Now, most people think the reason why someone gains weight in the first place is because they ate too many calories. But how many calories is too many calories? If we look at Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps, he eats about 10,000 calories in a day, and yet he looks very lean and strong. So clearly, 10,000 calories is not too many calories, or at least not for Michael Phelps. If I ate 10,000 calories, I likely would not look like him just because I'm not swimming for 5 to 6 hours a day. To keep things simple, I like to think of the word calories synonymous to the word energy. Simplistically, I think of food as fuel for my body. If we compare my body and food to a car and gasoline, if I put a lot of gas in the tank and then I drive the car around, the gas tank goes down to empty, I'm going to have to fill the car back up so that way I'll be able to drive the car again. But if I put gas in the tank and I put the car in the garage, I park it, I don't move the car, and then I try to put more gas in the tank, it's going to overflow since I didn't use the fuel. Therefore, it doesn't matter how often I fill up the gas tank. It doesn't matter how much food I eat as long as I use the fuel. It doesn't matter how many calories I eat as long as I'm using the energy. Now, this is where the idea of calories becomes a little bit tricky. In this picture, I was eating about 1,800 calories a day. And in this picture, I was eating about 2,400 calories in a day. I was working out and I was getting about the same amount of body movement in both pictures. I was driving the same car. It's my same body. I was driving the car the same amount. I was working out the same. The only thing that changed was the fuel, the gasoline, the food that I was eating. When I have better quality food, more nutrients, then my body can operate and function more efficiently. So to me, it doesn't really matter as much about calories when it comes to weight loss for two main reasons. One being that calories are very arbitrary, meaning that it's impossible to accurately know how many calories someone's burning in a day, and it's incredibly difficult to accurately know how many calories someone's eating in a day. Even if someone is trying to track their calories on an app, just to give an example, if I were to eat a slice of bacon and the app says that the bacon is 45 calories, what if my slice of bacon was thicker or longer or had more fat on it? Or if I were to eat an egg, all eggs, if I crack it in the pan, they're gonna have different sized egg yolks. Now, sure, I could separate the egg whites from the egg yolks and then measure them, but with the yolks, even if I could accurately know how much it weighed, it's still going to have different nutrients in it. If the chicken had more corn, soy, and grains, or if the chicken had more bugs and worms, it's just really difficult to accurately know how many calories overall I'm eating in a day. But then the second reason why I don't care as much about calories when it comes to weight loss is because, again, with these two pictures, forget about the calorie number. The calorie number isn't accurate anyway. The point I'm trying to emphasize is I was eating less food in this picture and I was more inflamed and had more fat to lose. So when I lost the weight, the calorie number I was eating didn't matter. The nutrients I gave my body mattered. This is why calories don't matter, because clearly people can eat more food and lose weight even though they're eating more calories. But at the same time, this is why calories do matter, because if I were to eat 10,000 calories like Michael Phelps and then I sat on the couch all day and I didn't use the fuel, I'm probably not gonna lose weight. What I would focus on more, and the first most important thing when it comes to weight loss, is prioritizing nutrients. To be more specific with nutrients, we have macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are going to be the proteins, fats, and carbs, and the micronutrients are going to be the vitamins and minerals. When we look at the macronutrients, proteins are going to help build the body, and then we have both fats and carbs that are going to help fuel the body. So both fats and carbs are the energy sources. So someone can pick fat for fuel or carbs for fuel or both. I personally, this is just my opinion, I would rather just choose one. That way I could become really proficient at burning that fuel source. Someone else may argue it would be better to be able to eat both fuel sources, just like it would be better to be able to write with both my left hand and my right hand. But this is where I would say I would rather become really proficient at being able to write with one of my hands versus be mediocre at being able to write with both of my hands. Protein is very simple. Everyone needs protein. In fact, as we age, we require more protein. So someone older than me would require more protein than me. Like I said, the first thing I would focus on when it comes to weight loss is prioritizing nutrients. And like I said, we've got macronutrients and the micronutrients. And if we just focus on the macronutrients first, protein is the thing that I would really prioritize, as it is the most satiating macronutrient, meaning that if I were to eat a bag of chips, it doesn't have much protein in it. I'll finish eating the bag of chips and I'll still be hungry. Whereas if I were to eat something else that has more protein, I'm gonna feel a little bit more full when I eat it. According to Dr. Robbenheimer and Dr. Simpson, through their research, they found that our bodies will not signal to our brains, stop eating, I'm full, until it's had enough protein for the day. So if I'm eating a bunch of carbs and I'm eating fruit all day, or if I'm eating a bunch of fat and I'm eating butter all day, in both situations, my body is not getting enough protein still. So therefore, I'm still going to be hungry and I'm gonna wanna keep eating all day long until my body has had enough protein for the day. When it comes to how much protein to eat, this is just my opinion. This is what I did to lose weight, and this is what I recommend clients do as well, is I say eat a gram of protein for every 1 pound of ideal body weight. Not the weight that someone currently weighs, it's the weight that I would like to weigh. So for example, if I'm 180 pounds, but I want to lose 40 pounds and weigh 140 pounds, then I would eat about 140 grams of protein. If I am 140 pounds and I want to remain 140 pounds, then I would eat about 140 grams of protein. If I am 130 pounds and I want to gain 10 pounds and weigh that 140 pounds, I would eat about 140 grams of protein. Now, it doesn't have to be exact. It can be less, it can be more. It's just kind of a rough ballpark number to shoot for. For me, just to give an example, I would like to weigh about 115 to 120 pounds, and yet there are days where I will have upwards of 185 grams of protein. It doesn't happen every day. The number doesn't have to be exact. It's just kind of for people, if they have no idea where to begin, I just say, I aim to eat about 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of ideal body weight. To figure out how much protein someone is eating, what I do is if the protein I'm eating has a nutrition facts label, I turn it over and it will show me how many servings are in each container or how much protein is in that amount that I'm going to eat. So this entire bag shows that it has 23 grams of protein. So therefore, this would be 23 grams of that 115 to 120 grams of protein that I try to eat in a day. If I'm eating something that doesn't have a nutrition facts label, so if I have chicken or beef, I just weigh it on a scale and then go onto Google and type in how much protein is in 8 ounces of this 80-20 beef, how much protein is in 6 ounces of chicken breast, and that's how I figure out how much protein I'm eating. Now, I don't track any of this stuff because at this point, I've done it so many times that I just automatically know how much protein is in certain servings of food. But for someone, if they don't know where to start with knowing how much protein, you kind of just gotta Google it. So that covers protein. Then we have our fat or our carbs for fuel. Which one should people choose? Personally, I have found that if I would like to gain weight, I would want to use carbs for fuel just because, I mean, this is similar to what bodybuilders do, is they use the carbs for fuel to bulk and get big. I just find it's easier to overeat carbs Whereas if I was trying to stabilize my blood sugars, manage insulin resistance, then I would want to use the fat for fuel and use that as more of a tool for weight loss. Now, it's really hard for me to give a number to shoot for when it comes to eating fat. I would just start with matching my protein. So for every 1 gram of protein I'm having, I would have 1 gram of fat. If I'm hungrier, then I would have more fat. If I'm less hungry, then I would lower both the protein and fat a little bit. But it's, like I said, it's really hard for me to give exact numbers. If you're looking to talk more one-on-one, ask more questions, I do offer coaching, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. If someone is going to choose fat for fuel instead of carbohydrates for fuel, then someone may initially see a lot of weight loss. Like myself, I lost probably 10 pounds in the first month because I lost a lot of water weight. Carbohydrates hydrate the cells. So if we remove the carbohydrates, then initially someone may notice that the body's flushing out a lot of water, and therefore they may have similar symptoms of dehydration where they're feeling low energy or brain fog, fatigue, muscle soreness, cramping. Maybe they can't sleep as good. They're just feeling kind of foggy and groggy. Until the body adjusts from not having the carbohydrates, someone may feel a little bit dehydrated. So what I recommend to not feel as dehydrated and to replenish the hydration is to use electrolytes. I recommend Element. It's a very clean ingredient product, so there's no sugar or artificial ingredients. It has the ingredients sodium, magnesium, and potassium. And this isn't just for people who eat low carb. Many people who eat carbohydrates are still dehydrated because even though there are healthy carbs like fruits and vegetables or squashes, there are also other carbs that don't have as many vitamins and minerals like pizzas, chips, pastas, brownies, soda pop. So even if someone is eating carbs, if they're eating processed junk food carbs, they're likely still dehydrated because if I eat a bag of chips, it doesn't have much potassium or magnesium or minerals in it. Right now, Element is offering my listeners a free sample pack with any order. The sample pack comes with 8 different flavors, so you can see which one's your favorite. You can claim this free sample pack with any order by going to the link in the video description or by going to the URL drinkelement.com/Lillie Kane. So when it comes to weight loss, the first thing I want to prioritize is nutrients, specifically with macronutrients, protein, and then as far as micronutrients, I just want to get in as many vitamins and minerals as possible because it's going to help keep me full and satiated, but also I need vitamins and minerals for my body to repair itself, to operate, to function, and to help balance hormones. So similarly to when I eat a bag of chips, I don't get very full because it doesn't have much protein. I also eat that same bag of chips and it doesn't have very many vitamins and minerals. So I eat the chips and I'm still hungry. If I drink a protein shake, usually I'll be hungry in a couple hours. Whereas if I eat a steak that has zinc, iron, potassium, selenium, it has more nutrients, then I usually am not as hungry afterwards because the nutrients fill me up. When I was having more processed junk foods, then my body was going into more starvation mode, holding on to the small amount of proteins and vitamins and minerals that I was giving it. And therefore, if I want to lose weight, I would want to prioritize the protein and the vitamins and minerals overall, so my body has what it needs to repair itself, to also balance hormones, and then also having a lot of protein and vitamins and minerals is going to help keep me full. And then if I'm super stuffed and you try to offer me a bag of chips, I just can't eat it. I'm too full. If someone is going to start incorporating more protein and nutrient-dense foods, I would do it very gradually. This is what I did, where I very slowly just removed one food at a time. And for every food that I removed, I had to replace it with something else. So I went from having a bowl of rice to a bowl of ground beef. I replaced the noodles with egg noodles. I replaced the chips with carnivore crisps. So oftentimes when people want to change their diet, they do it very quickly and it's kind of overwhelming and it can be stressful, and we haven't given ourselves enough time to adopt to these new habits. So I think the tortoise wins the race, And we use the remove and replace strategy because we can't just remove the bag of chips, we have to replace it with something else. Now, the second most important thing when it comes to weight loss is making the diet enjoyable and sustainable. Because if I'm eating a diet and the food tastes nasty, it's restrictive, it's boring, it makes me feel awkward at social events, it takes a lot of prep time and cook time to make the food, then I'm likely not going to continue the diet forever, and therefore I'm not going to continue losing the weight or maintaining the weight loss. 6 out of 7 people who start a diet lose weight, but over 80% of them will regain the weight within 3 years. So consistency wins the race. If I eat healthy this week or I go to the gym this week, it doesn't really matter if I don't do it forever. To make this really simple, I would prioritize nutrients, protein, and vitamins and minerals, and then I would also focus on eating those foods that make me the happiest and that taste really good. And that's pretty much as complicated as I would make my diet. Make sure to subscribe, like, and if you're looking to book a coaching call, there's a link in the description. I hope you have a happy day, and I'll see you in the next one.